video, I wanted to discuss wilderness use cases for common weapons and kind of review in more detail some of the free-to-play options and some of the common mistakes I see people making when they're going to go to the wilderness as far as gear. So, the first thing I wanted to touch on is the gilded armor is actually best in slot for free-to-play. So, you actually get the most bonuses, as you can see, stab, slash, crush, magic, and range with the gilded. This was the same armor. This armor has the same stats as Green Beehide before the nerf by Jagex. So now, if you're looking to go into the wilderness, you can see your magic defense is only 30, whereas before, well, it's still 30, but you have more of the melee defense. So making this gear, much less effective for tanking and PKing. However, you would not want to PK in this gear, as I believe if we look at the price checker, let me just switch. This gear, I believe, is right. Yeah, so 4.5 million, 10 million, and just touching 2.6 million. The coif is actually not free to play, so, and it's not part of the set in the Grand Exchange. But the reason that I want to show you the coif is in free to play we use this coif, which is the default best range armor for your head slot. If this tier 40 gilded coif were available, this would be better. As you can see, the range strength is +2 over the regular coif, so it's +4 total, and it has slightly better slash and range defense, but this would be strictly a damage per second upgrade for free-to-play if it were made so. But you would, again, not go in the wilderness with this gear. You'd most likely go with a setup like this. Now, previously, we had mentioned that we will white boots to something like the Crazy Archaeologist. That would, again, be the case. We would also probably have something like this setup if we were not on a Slayer task. So a God Miter, again, +5 prayer bonus here. We have the Monk's Robe top and bottom, and the white boots for the +1 prayer bonus that they grant, so +1 here. And depending upon your risk tolerance, you may also consider bringing Barrow's gloves or rune gloves. Now, the Tormented Bracelet does add significant magic damage, as well as the Occult Necklace. However, even with the ornament kit, the risk is significant. So for that reason, we would typically not bring these to the wilderness. With the ornament kit, there have been so many wilderness changes that it's unclear whether it would actually protect like it's supposed to. It does in non-wilderness deaths, I can definitely tell you that, at Zulrah. But it is not something that I plan on dying with. So for that reason, I recommend the Barrow's gloves or the rune gloves as a budget alternative. You're really not giving up much damage with the rune gloves, simply because magic bonus is not as important as as one might think when you're attacking a target with level 1 magic, like a lot of NPCs are in RuneScape, so you don't have to worry about that. That magic bonus is irrelevant. Now, the alternative, again, if it did matter, would be the Monk's Robes. These are around 2,000 coins a piece for the top, 2,000 for the bottom, but you can get them for much cheaper just by farming the Chaos Druids, I believe, are the ones that drop this, and the Elder Chaos Druids as well. So these are definitely a great choice. They also have +3 prayer each, so you're only giving up, 5 prayer bonus to get an additional magic defense, which is the most important stat on these robes, but again, they're so fragile, you almost get no benefit, so I would say these are interchangeable if you can prayer flip, but otherwise I just prefer the monk robes, non-trimmed of course, like this. The non-trimmed in the wilderness. But the trimmed ones are very inexpensive also. So, yeah, under 50,000. So another notable addition, something that you might consider bringing to the wilderness, is an Armadillo Godsword for PKing. Now, I only say this because I've brought it recently with the new wilderness update. This weapon is a fairly inexpensive weapon when you consider all the KO weapons in the game. The Armadillo Godsword runs you approximately 11 million, 12 million, so around there, around 9 to 15 million, I would say, is the range. And if you pair it with, your really high offense bonus items, like your, pretend this is just a regular Amulet of Fury, with your +8 strength, and your Barrow's Gloves, with your +12, you can get some very large bonuses stacked and not have too much risk. If you are sculling, remember you are risking your most expensive items, so you do want to make sure you have that quick prayer and protect item added. You want to make sure you don't get smited and you don't lose your +1 if you do become scald. Now, although the Armadillo Godsword is a one-click win, a much lesser option, but still can be very effective, still has one of the highest max hits in the game, at 48, is the Dragon Dagger. Now, notably, the Dragon Dagger is much cheaper. It's alch value, so at 17,400, and the poison variant has a lower alch value than the unpoisoned variant. That's some trivia for you. But this is really the way to go. Looks, wow, it's actually increasing value, but these are the cheapest way to get into PKing is a Glory Amulet, your Barrows, or pick your glove. If you don't have Barrows gloves or the Quest Stone, you can choose a Combat Bracelet. Or a Regen Bracelet, I believe, is the best in slot if you are a 0 quest account. So, Regen Bracelet. Also, it speeds up the rate of regeneration from your health, hence the name. But this one, again, only has the +7 strength, whereas the gloves give you the full +12. Realistically, you're not going to bring your Ferocious Gloves because they don't offer that defensive bonus, and the +1 max hit is not probably worth it, I would say, for the cost. Now, I failed to mention some headwear options, so I wanted to address that here. So I mentioned the coif. Coif is, you can think of it as your best in slot magic defense. Now, why do I say that? Because if you compare the coif to, let's say, the snakeskin, I have to buy some snakeskin here. If you compare the stats, the snakeskin bandana only has +2 magic defense and +4 ranged, so +2 defense. The coif has double, +4. Okay, so you're directly trading off that, and the snakeskin boots, the most popular footwear in the wilderness, I would wager. Aside from the climbing boots, these have the +3 range, but only +1 magic defense. And I misstated in my other video, -10 magic attack bonus. So not something that's super relevant, but again, really will not be wanting to use mage at all. If you have these boots, if you can help it, magic, you probably want to stick to the boots I mentioned, the white boots for the +1 bonus, or the climbing boots as a anti-decaying option. Now, aside from the coif, as far as ranged options go, you do have that snakeskin bandana, like I mentioned, but you also have this, which is the Helm of Nadesnot. Now, the Helm of Nadesnot notably doesn't actually have offensive bonuses, besides the melee strength, but it does have +3 prayer, and it comes in right around 50,000 coins. Jagex just released the update so that you could buy more without having to do the drop trick. Otherwise, I'd show you. But you just go to Yatizo. We might as well just go there now. So I will bank this and let's get out some gear so we can traverse the land. All right. And one other thing I wanted to mention as well, there are no fairy rings in the wilderness, but if you do happen to find yourself carrying a staff, and if you're like me and can't be bothered to do the Bones to Peaches, that is the only thing holding me back from not having to use either the Lunar or the Draining Staff. But you really want to bring the Draining Staff to the wilderness, and really everywhere, because the Lunar Staff is pointless because if it's deleted upon death. So, to me, at least, and I use this all the time at Zulrah, where I die, I don't want to have to retrieve Lunar Staves. So, Draining Staff. Now, let's head over to Yatizo, and I will show you the shop, or rather the dialogue option that Jagex has updated. And again, I use these indicators because I never know where any of the boats are. Okay. Okay, so this is really your best helmet option if you want that kind of like that climbing boots, the melee bonuses, and the all-around. This is better about the helmet. You have the all-around bonuses, even some magic bonus. So what am I a fool? You don't go to Yatis, so you go to Native Not. I don't know why I clicked the wrong one. Obviously, of course, you go to Native's Knot and the boat ride directly to the village center. Or rather, you run to the village center. And again, this dialogue option was very recently updated. It used to be that you couldn't have one of these in your bank. And you can ask him for more. And now he will charge you. So, and just approve. We're just going to buy one. Actually, we're just going to buy up the whole inventory. Why not? So these are pretty useful. Wow, it's not even... okay. Oh my goodness. Alright, anyway, so... Right, so you have this unlimited option to purchase these, and the climbing boots, so the easiest way is you navigate your way to the Warriors Guild. So navigate your way to the Warriors Guild with hopefully full run energy. The other way, if you don't have the Strength Cape, is you can use either the Birthwarp Teleport, so very accessible, or the Warriors Guild. So really, these are about 20 feet apart, I don't know. But you'll use the Warriors Guild because it's ever so slightly closer. And we will run to the top of the mountain. Where this very nice man lives with an infinite supply of the best budget boots in the game. So Tenzing, can I buy some climbing boots? Sure, 12 gold, sounds good. Thank you, lad. Boom. So, the notable thing is, let's go to Grand Exchange and show you the bonuses. So, and see, these are even profitable now, so we can sell those. Is that right? For nice, tidy profits. And I don't really count the cost of law runes since I'm not 99 magic. So we'll undercut the guy. Wow. What are they selling for? Yes. Good amount. Good amount. So people really need these helmets. They're really good for PKing. Now, don't make the mistake if you are a member of wearing a blue wizard hat or the aptly named wizard hat. Now, these do not offer you any kind of bonus whatsoever to any of your defense besides your magic. So not a great helmet slot, okay? And people wear these for the +2. But you can get these gnome hats. For example, if you're at the gnome stronghold, you can get these gnome hats, and also in Canifis. But these are just much easier if you have the gnome teleport. Otherwise, you can use the spirit tree and run north, or Darrow, the glider, or run here. But Remedy, yes. So these hats all have +3 magic, while these have 2. So I really don't know why anyone uses these, but we have them. Now, finally, something that I really missed was the fact that people are using dragon boots now in the wilderness. Now, dragon boots have excellent melee defensive stats. Okay, they had previously, or at least for a long time, I mean, basically the best melee strength you can get, +4, double that of climbing boots. +5 is only from primordial boots, so these are basically your best in slot, I would say, in the wilderness. You don't need to risk more. And I totally overlooked these because previously I had shown the Boots of Brimstone. These were more expensive. Now they're around 132,000. And they used to be at least 200,000 as I remember, if not more. If I could keep my risk to under, let's say, 100,000 unskulled before food, I would feel pretty fine to, upgrade one slot or two, but these are much better than your run-of-the-mill climbing boots, which offer no defense, essentially. This is minuscule, so you're really just here for the strength, whereas these strictly outclass them, and they're not too bad for range either. So, they have the -1, but what's -1 in in a world where people are using snakeskin? I don't know. I haven't run the calculation on the damage per second, but these are definitely serviceable. Additionally, Rune Defender trimmed. These are very inexpensive for the ornament kits. Let's see here. 6,000. I think I paid 14,000 probably for that. And then the Grand Exchange, we're trying to buy the Dragon Boots ornament kit for the market price, but they just don't have any available. And I'm not going to overpay for something that is probably not even on the offers. Currently, it's probably a very thinly traded item, but you can imagine that if you just added these on there, you get the gold trim. I can show you what that looks like. So, the plugin called Fashionscape, and it's client specific, so no one else can see it, but these are trimmed with this gold. I actually used to have these and wear them all the time because those were the best in slot boots I had, but I have primordials now. So again, I would recommend, if you're going to use dragon boots, go ahead and pay a little extra money, get the ornament kit. Don't fall into the trap of buying these boots. These have no magical bonuses. It says +3, but that's relative to these. These have no magical bonuses. They're the same as leather boots. These are just for fashion. You don't want to wear these. These are the boots that I typically roll with when I'm using magic. White boots for the +1 prayer bonus. Iron boots for the +2 attack bonus. Dragon boots for the +4. and bringing, some extra risk, maybe a regular Amulet of Fury, certainly not Blood Amulet of Fury. And make sure you always carry your seed pod, have that ready. I have it marked in yellow because I use inventory tags when playing Soul Wars. That is my best tip to you. Thank you so much again for watching the video, and stay tuned for more.